The liability market has gotten so bad that it's become a target for bad actors. There's criminal rings involving attorneys and doctors that are paying people to stage accidents and fake injuries so they can sue trucking companies. In Louisiana, there were over 50 indictments in a staged accident scheme, and they had to go after them for mail fraud because it's not currently a federal crime to stage an accident with a motor vehicle. We were involved in a fraudulent accident where a driver did what they call a swoop and squat maneuver, basically moving over in front of our vehicle and slamming on his brakes to force a rear-end collision. The plaintiff claimed numerous injuries and provided a report by a doctor of pain management at the UCLA Spine Center that said he was going to have over $1.7 million in future medical care needs. And they presented us with a $5 million demand. We did not have cameras at the time, but our driver's account of the accident and the way the things were being handled led us to suspect fraudulent activity. We spent over $160,000 on attorneys and investigators to look into the plaintiff, and we found out that he'd been involved in 10 vehicle crashes involving insurance payouts, and 6 of which were similar rear-end accidents, all in the prior 4 years. He had personal injury claims on 7 of those 10 accidents. He was also sued by the attorney that was representing him in our case in a different accident where he was the defendant. And the plaintiff in that case was Facebook friends with him and from the same hometown in Cuba. At one point, the law firm that was representing him as a plaintiff in our case was also suing him as a defendant in another case at the same time. We also had video surveillance showing that his physical abilities were in direct contradiction with his sworn testimony of injuries. We countersued, and eventually the law firm moved the case to another lawyer, and that lawyer later dropped the case, citing that he could no longer make contact with the plaintiff, who we assumed went back to Cuba. All of this happened. We gave all the materials and investigative information to the Texas Department of Insurance Fraud, but to our knowledge, nothing was done. The driver was never prosecuted, and the attorneys, as far as we know, are still practicing law. And we cannot recover the $160,000 that we spent in attorney fees and investigation on a lawsuit that should have never happened and an accident that should have never happened.